Welcome back to our discussion, a new approach to IT modernization, sponsored by Appian, here on Federal News Radio, part of the Federal News Network. My guest today is Michael Beckley, the founder and Chief Technology Officer of Appian. I'm Tom Temin. And let's talk about technical debt. This is something that comes up a lot in discussions of modernization and budgeting and the whole issue of federal IT. And what is technical debt exactly, and how do agencies go about, I guess it's good to reduce it, and how do they do that?
Yeah, sure, Tom. Technical debt is something that we all have to face in IT. As soon as you build something, because technology is constantly changing and evolving, that product that you just built begins to become obsolete. Very slowly, perhaps, but sometimes very quickly lately, as we see new technologies like the iPhone and the cloud and artificial intelligence. Every day there's something new invented that makes what we used to have maybe not work as well anymore. And so technical debt is what builds up in an organization, in an agency, as their backlog of requests from users to build and enhance applications and take advantage of new technology continues to grow and grow faster than they can possibly service that. And now with such demand for big data and cloud and mobility, it's really challenging to IT departments to keep up.
I guess it's fair to say that that problem's gotten worse in recent years. In many ways, it's as old as when they used to call it MIS, and they had application requests from accounting, and it was always more than the IT department could get to. But now everybody's a computer user, and there are so many things you can do with data, so much analysis that was unheard of years ago, that the growth of technical debt is accelerating. Is that fair to say?
That's completely fair to say. And so part of it is user expectations. Now as consumers, we're all seeing and being a part of this incredible revolution in how all business is conducted. And so just like our banks allow us to deposit checks through our phone, and to conduct business with a chatbot rather than a human, we expect our government agencies to work exactly the same way. And that really is challenging to IT departments who don't have necessarily the budgets and staff of a major bank that can invest in customer service in the same way. And so really a low-code platform is a new way to more rapidly service that problem, to eliminate technical debt, to rapidly build down your backlog by allowing you to much more rapidly deliver applications and enhancements to them. And more importantly, when you build something on a low-code platform, when you build that new regulatory approval application that people have to apply for to get their permits to do business, it gets better every time the platform gets enhanced. So now it's Appian's job to keep up with change in technology, not the IT departments. When there's a new release of a mobile operating system, Appian upgrades the low-code platform, and every agency's mobile applications get better that day without having to spend another cent on refactoring, rebuilding, and retesting. And that's how you really solve technical debt, by making it someone else's problem, in this case, our problem.
Well, it's also a function of speed, of getting to those new applications that are requested quickly.
That's right, but as the pace of change increases, the velocity increases, it's really important to find a way to not be coding your software, because if it's in code, that logic, then we have to recode it somehow. But if it's defined in a low-code platform, then the platform can be enhanced and the applications just get better. We call that free power.
Got it. And now in some cases, the government comes up with totally new applications. The most famous example I can think of in recent years was Cash for Clunkers. There was nothing that existed, and somehow they had to cob together. Still don't know how they did it. And then you've got the modernization efforts and all of these other new requirements that come on. Give us some of the top use cases you see in the federal space for low-code platforming.
Right. So the main use cases revolve around digital transformation, doing things with new technology in new ways much more efficiently, or modernizing acquisition, like we talked about in the first segment. To give you a couple of specific examples, the GSA has modernized and transformed procurement. They started with acquisition planning and then implemented automation of end-to-end procurement processes that connect 20 different systems for thousands of users at GSA. Another example would be in the Marine Corps, where the 3,000 recruiters working every day to bring the next generation of great warriors into the Marine Corps, they're challenged by this incredibly tight labor market. They have to go to the candidates, they need to be there in person, and that takes a mobile solution. And so Appian has provided a mobile-enabled platform for the Marine Corps recruiters, so they can actually take their office with them as they go to find that talent and compete for the best youth of America.
Now, there's a lot of work being done in IT in the area of IT itself, robotic process automation, to maybe get people in and out of the cloud, to get applications in and out of the cloud, to deploy different load balancing systems, to update your data center. A lot of things that are used to be done by hand coding or electrical people pulling wires and so forth. This whole RPA area is coming in as distinct from artificial intelligence. We can talk about that too.
Right.
But RPA, is that something that can be enhanced in a low code way?
Yes, absolutely. What low code from Appian does is provide a complete intelligent automation solution that orchestrates how humans and digital workers, your bots in your example, can work together. It's critical to design the end-to-end process regardless of who's going to complete the work, because you need to have control over the reality that our robots and our algorithms are never perfect. So how are you going to handle the exceptions? When you use OCR to scan a document, you're not going to get 100% accuracy. When you use a bot, it might work today, but when something in another external system that it's fetching data from changes, the bot doesn't understand change. It only understands what it's programmed, garbage in, garbage out. So by modeling everything with a low-code platform for humans and bots to work together, when the bots mess up, the humans can be there to clean it up and reprogram it and handle the exceptions elegantly. And this is how you avoid kind of the Lucy and the Chocolate Factory problem, as the automation allows a process to move much faster, that can allow mistakes to pile up much faster if you haven't designed that automation intelligently with a low-code platform.
I imagine this is particularly important in this burgeoning cloud era, because when you move loads from cloud to cloud, or you change something in your load that the cloud services may not understand, this is a problem that's coming up a lot.
Well, it's coming up whether it's in the cloud or not. The fact is, when you're integrating many different systems, it's inevitable that some of those systems will change. And so it's so important to think through how are you going to model your end-to-end business process. And that's what Appian's low-code platform is designed for. This world of ever-increasingly distributed data, and oftentimes in the cloud. And that's why it's also critical to have a low-code platform that's built for today's cloud security standards. So it has to be FedRAMP certified, it has to be secure, resilient, scalable to handle government workloads and handle them with the security and resiliency that a government agency requires.
All right, we'll take a short break on that note. I'm Tom Temin on this discussion, a new approach in IT modernization, sponsored by Appian, here on Federal News Radio, part of the Federal News Network.